Usually people stop their unwelcome behavior when asked, especially if a manager or supervisor talks to them. But even mild behavior can become a serious matter when it continues after a person has been asked to stop. Obviously, more serious steps must now be taken if the harassment continues. Discipline is sometimes needed in order to enforce company policy and to set an example to others. In some cases, discipline could even include termination. We've spent a lot of time looking at hostile work environment harassment. Now, let's look at the other form of illegal sexual harassment called quid pro quo. In a quid pro quo situation, someone in a position of power demands sexual favors in exchange for job benefits, such as a promotion, raise, good performance review, that kind of thing. Or the opposite, threatens a person's job and suggests that unless sexual favors are given, there will be a loss of job benefits. Quid pro quo is a very serious form of sexual harassment with serious consequences. Most people in positions of authority know better than to risk their careers doing something this foolish. Therefore, it doesn't happen as much these days. And when it does happen, quid pro quo harassment can take a very subtle form.
All right, all right, all right. Woo. They're looking good, Coach. They gonna be ready for the big game Saturday?
Bet. We're ready now.
Well, you make sure they play as a team. You know how I like team players. I thought you might be interested to know what the committee decided. You're in the top 3.
Oh my gosh. Really? I can't believe it. Head coach of the women's team. Do you think I have a chance?
Well, it all depends. You know, as athletic director, my vote carries a lot of weight. I know how closely I have to work with the head coach, you know, with all the extra hours during season and all the traveling. I mean, it's crucial that we get along well.
What are you getting at?
Well, I'm just saying it's a very important decision, one that I think you can help me make. I mean, I have to admit that I have certain reservations about recommending you. But I'll bet you could convince me if you really tried. Now, if I were you, I wouldn't let this opportunity slip away. So you give it some thought. I have to make my recommendation in 10 days.
Everything okay, Coach?
Yeah, fine.
You sure?
Obviously, if the athletic director is actually threatening to not recommend the coach for the job unless she agrees to sexual favors, something quite serious has just happened. Serious and illegal. The consequences of this kind of behavior, conditioning a promotion on sexual favors, if proved, would likely result in the termination of the harasser. No one should have to put up with quid pro quo harassment ever. So, what is sexual harassment? Well, we know that it's unwelcome conduct of a sexual nature. The victim can be the intended recipient of the behavior, or the victim can be a third-party observer. The harasser can be a supervisor, a manager, or a coworker, or an outsider who's not even an employee. Employers must act reasonably to protect their employees from harassment, regardless of the source. Behavior crosses the line when it's not welcome, not returned, and not appreciated. Sexual behavior that offends, intimidates, humiliates, or insults is never appropriate in the workplace. And provocative dress and flirtatious conduct can cause problems too. Remember, intentions don't matter. Harassment is viewed from the victim's perspective. Hostile work environment harassment is ongoing, pervasive, or severe behavior that affects a person's ability to do his or her job or creates a hostile environment. Retaliation is also against the law. That means that people who report harassment or who participate in an investigation are protected. The most serious form of harassment, quid pro quo, happens when someone with power offers job benefits in exchange for sexual favors, or threatens the employee if the sexual overtures are rejected. So, what can you do to prevent sexual harassment in the workplace? Know what it is. Know your employer's policy. If someone complains about your behavior, stop. Don't wait for a chat with your boss, or worse. If someone's behavior is bothering you, say something. Tell the harasser. Tell a coworker who can help. Tell your manager. And don't hesitate to tell your manager's manager or HR or anyone else up the chain of command who can help. Remember, we all can do something to prevent sexual harassment in the workplace. By conducting ourselves in a manner that doesn't interfere with others' ability to do their jobs, and by treating others with respect, we help create a working environment that benefits everyone. It's up to you.